Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of the Beaumont Weekly. In this episode, we got a load of shit going on in the office. Working on Clockwork right now. From Burnley. At the office. Tell me he doesn't look like Dave from Banker Dave. He does, doesn't he? Building on the fucking moon. We've got some clients up, gonna be with Kane.
Remember the stud work that we're talking about? Fucking, you alright to fucking finish this? Take the piss. Jeffrey, son, where are you? Yeah, it's all good.
Office, photos, headshots. See you soon, subscribe.
So we're here with Ian and Tommy at their property in the northeast. Just took them round site and I'm going to take them back to the office and teach them how to do tendering exercise on their jobs. They want to be developers like ourselves, so I'll take them through the full pre-construction process so they can adequately appraise schemes as well as tender it out to building teams in their respective areas. Obviously we operate in the northeast, but we'll teach them how to do this wherever they go, just follow due process. Take them through the first one after and then they're set up really. Yeah, it's all good. So obviously, as you can see, fucking dot and dab that. On this, obviously we use the white plaster we see through the building. So what we do now, we'll tape all the joints, then we'll literally roll this plaster on, like a white plaster. But obviously your boys, up there on your schemes, might multi-finish, might tape and joint. But it depends what we'll tender out at that processing time, yeah. That's where we're at in here. So we've got, I'd like to say, all the first fixes. Oh, sorry, son.
How would the door open for this? I'm presuming the bed's going to be here.
Yeah.
How would you hinge the door?
Well, hinge this side, but what we've done in tight rooms like this previously, we've put them on rollers.
Roller?
Yeah, so it doesn't actually swing.
So it doesn't use up.
Yeah, exactly that. I set the kitchen out yesterday, so we're going to have our sink here, washer there, and we'll get 2 units up here, but then all this wall here, get 600 to 600, a 500, 500, and a big 800 wall unit as well. So yeah, extractor hood there. We'll reuse that extractor vent because the cooker and the hood isn't on an external wall and it's not going to get vented externally. We also need another extract in here. Right. But this is a charcoal filter, so it'll take the smells out on the extract. As you can see now, remember the stud work that we're talking about?
It's rested on there, plus you're putting this in additional.
Yes, exactly that. But because this isn't a cavity wall, we've created a cavity on the back here. So this is a breather membrane, which will allow moisture to dissipate within that cavity. So when we board this up, if this sweats, it can go out that way and it'll dissipate out. That wall will just travel through and we'll have wall, you see where the lads have started chalking it out. We've got a big worktop come across the back here, TV on the wall there, sofa here. So at the end of this week, as you can see, all the first fixes near enough done. When them 2 walls go up, any first fix on these walls will also go on. After he finishes that, then he's going upstairs to start putting the socket fronts on. Obviously upstairs is ready to second fix now. That skylight's coming tomorrow. So fucking it's about 120 quid off Amazon. Fuck all. Yeah. Like I say, normally if you get the pyramid ones, they cost you anywhere 1,500 quid. So we just put a flat glass on.
It's going to be obviously beveled to a certain.
Yeah, exactly that. So obviously it'll have a natural fall.
Is it glass or is it PVC?
Glass. Glass, proper glass.
With the stacks,
yeah.
Are these? Can you position the toilet more over this way, or does it have to be central to that?
With that's just gaining entry. That for us, we'll position that essentially here. So we'll do a little boxing in to make it neat. Any questions about the schemes, boys? Durations or?
Are we on track on this one?
Yeah, but I'd say about 6 weeks left. Realistically, I think we're on application 10 now, aren't we?
I think it's 11 this week.
11 this week, so like 6 weeks here from the start of this week. Plastering will be done by the middle of next week, back end of next week, so all that'll be boarded in out the back and plastering finished. Then it's just sweeping through second fix.
Right.
I'll bring your fucking wallet, boys, because I'm a big drinker, me lads. I better take yours out actually, that's how it works.
Yo, yo, here we are at the office. So we start the day, 9 o'clock, and we've got our monthly meeting where we get all departments together and go through the high level numbers that each department's performing at month on month. Here's Dad.
Good morning.
Dad's here, so everyone's going to be in today. And then we're going to go into back-to-back meetings. Now we've set up all the weekly meetings, so we'll then have lettings, construction, sourcing, project management, and then we'll do a high level group meeting as well between me, Dad and Robbie. Now that we're doing these meetings, we've clearly seen the benefits on all of us getting together and talking in depth for what is many hours across all the businesses, but it's only about half an hour to an hour per business to try and save time as much as possible. We don't want to do meetings for meetings' sakes, but we're getting a lot of value out of these. So Sam Ward's here, Sean Ward's here, Kano's here, Steve's here, Also, if you've ever seen the movie Bank of Dave, tell me he doesn't look like Dave from Bank of Dave. He does, doesn't he?
Morning, Steve.
Morning, Steve. And then we'll have a little look up. So we're going to do meetings upstairs today, so we'll set up upstairs. Hello. Hello. Ah, Sean, sir. Hello, mate. Jay's set up here now as well. He's got his little corner with his massive mainframe computer. Looks mental now it's on the desk. Cool, we're gonna get into meetings. See you in a bit. And we're done with the monthly team meeting, and now we're getting headshots because we need to update our website and update everyone's email footers. It's just taken a while for us to get around to doing this, but now we've got Jay here with the lighting set up, getting some beautiful photos of everyone in the business, and Sean. This is Sean who does all of the production for the Ground Up podcast. Every week we release an episode. It's a deep dive of property, business, really valuable free content, so make sure you check it out. Jay's working on Clockwork right now. But yeah, we're getting all these headshots just so we can update everything, because our headshots on the website at the moment are shit. Cool, we'll do this and then we're gonna get into the lettings meeting. Nice. Right, so here we are outside this lump. So we're going from there all the way to the end, and it goes back a long way. So this is an old commercial unit, old offices, and it benefits from Class MA to convert from offices to apartments under permitted development, but we could do more with it. It's a lump of a building right in the town centre. Inside's been stripped out mostly. It's a local developer and builder who's got this one, we know him well, and he's storing a load of his gear in here at the moment. So this will give you an idea of the size of it. Goes back a long way. Yeah, it's a big lump, stripped out. It's nice because we can see everything. And there's a secondary stair core here as well. So we'll probably get rid of this stair core and just keep the central one. Then here's the first floor. You can see got a big roof already, so we could drop a floor in here, probably gain another 100 mil off that. And we can get some units up there, either a studio apartment or a bedroom to something on the lower floor. But there is also an idea to take off that face of the pitch and join it with almost like a mansard roof to the other side, because this is then the other pitch on the back end of the roof. So it then will join across the middle to this ridge, and then you get almost another floor out of it, which the council aren't opposed to. A lot of scope for this building, very interesting one, and we know Paul well. Paul's the owner, he's a developer in the area, does loads of stuff, and we've worked with him on some other bits before, so pretty straightforward purchase. And that is this one. And I am back in the office after viewing. Got a Zoom call now to jump onto with Matthew. But just to touch on that viewing, so nice property, end of terrace, large, stripped out, owned by a local developer and builder who we know really well. Gave us a lowdown on the planning, the history, and it is Class MA, so we can convert it from existing E-Class to residential apartments without having to go through planning. But I think it might be good as a sort of dense studio apartment scheme. So it could then suddenly be like an 8 or 12 unit scheme right in the town centre as well, so good location. So we're looking at that and another one on that street, because we are pivoting our model now. We're still going to do lots of HMOs. It's what we're good at, it's what we like doing, but we're also focusing on growing this business to be a big development business, and to do that we need to get into bigger projects. So we're going to do more and more apartment schemes for our clients and push the business more in that direction, because not only do apartments have a lot more longevity, they're more of a capital play, better diversification, but also it is that road to becoming a proper developer, which we are, but we want our clients to be able to join that journey. And doing HMOs is one thing, but learning how to then really take old buildings, repurpose them in the marketplaces, these large multi-unit schemes, then you're really touching onto real developments. And for us, it's about that stepping stone, that pyramid that I've explained before. We start with the HMOs, foundations of a large development business, step up to the commercial to resis, bigger commercial to resis, and then one day build to rents, and then I'm going to build on the moon. That's the end goal, mate. Building on the fucking moon. Good viewing, interesting, certainly put an offer on it, and I think we'll bag that one. Jay is performing magic over here. And look at all this. Headshots. Look at all these faces. Look at these lovely faces. But yeah, so now picking through, he's refining all of these so that everyone looks stunning. Oh, Adam as well, yeah, Adam. Yeah, this is the next part of the process, and we'll get all of this stuff added on to our email footers and onto our website. It's funny how you just, you spend so much effort and time building a business and doing all the parts that come with it and everything else. But stuff like this, it's really crucial, really, to have your faces, the people in the business, on the website properly, and then in the email footers as well. So when you're interacting with people, professionals, clients, they know who they're talking to. Like, it's a pretty important thing to do and an easy thing to do, and we just don't get around to it because you focus on so many other things. So I'm happy we finally got around to this, and there's a litany of other things that we also need to get around to doing as well. Here's some of the shorts he's been editing. He's doing this like motion tracking of my face. So we're big on the short game, right? I don't know if I've actually spoken about this much, but so to grow a social media channel in the modern day, there's a few ways you can do it. Either really viral content and you hone in on viral content, Mr. Beast style, but I think that creates ephemeral audiences where you always need to up the ante to retain care from your viewers. I'm not about that. I'd rather long form story arcs where for us it's building this business and the people within the business and us going from, if you look back in the early day vlogs, we're traveling up and down the country in a car, staying at a fucking hotel. Honor was in a lot of those vlogs as well, and we're going around doing viewings. We start off with our first few projects and all the trials and tribulations that came with that, to now having this office set up and a big team working with us, and then where we go next and the bigger projects that we'll do and fulfilling our goals that we talk about in the content. That's the long form story arc, to me, is the way to win at social media, because it's the 1,000 fan principle. You build a cult of people who really buy into what you're doing. Generally, viewers, what they'll do is they'll get to know new brands like us, and they might watch us intensely for like a few months, and then interest just sort of dwindle away, and then they might go start watching someone else, and that's very normal. That's like transient behavior from people. It's like when you watch a TV series or something. But if you stay consistent with the long form story arcs, and we keep posting, we keep gradually incrementally growing, those same people that drop off, a year later they come back, they'll stumble across us again, or they'll think, oh, what were those guys? I remember I used to watch those guys. And when they come back and they've watched us before and we've progressed and we're even further, that's when you've got them. That's when people are like, oh, I love this. Like, now they're bigger, now like everyone knows them, or their friends referred them and they've gone, yeah, I used to watch those guys. And you create this behavior amongst your audience, which is funny that I'm talking to the audience about this now, but it's exactly what we did in the band, and we ended up building a cult following, and we're doing the same thing now, but obviously a whole different vertical. There's nothing particularly exciting about what we do. It's just that if it's told in a certain way and people can get to know a business and get to know people, and it's somewhat entertaining or educational in some way, it will work. It just takes a long time. You need persistence, and if you're super patient and keep an eye on retaining that brand as it builds over time. But it's the short content that can steroid inject that same long form story arc, where the content we produce weekly is not particularly viral. It's hard to get loads of views on it. But what you can do is compound views underneath the main channel videos, like the vlogs and the concept videos that we post. The vlogs are the main thing for us. The concept videos are nice educational pieces, hopefully useful to some people, inspire some ideas. We're testing out ideas ourselves. But it's the shorts underneath that are like the engines. And if you can get loads of short content out, which is basically repopulating your long form content or filming in slightly different verticals, other types of content, and then you can post at least 3 a day on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, then that's 3 times 4, which is a number, 12. That's 12 pieces of content every day that's got my face on it, representing our brand, going out all the time. And each one of those shorts, we've had shorts that have had 150,000 views. Other ones have had 10,000, 7,000, 8,000, 1,000, 500. They regularly get hundreds and hundreds of views each. And then we're posting 12 of them a day. They're getting way more traction than the vlogs ever will individually. And people will watch those shorts, and they won't necessarily straight away subscribe. But if you stay consistent, you keep posting 12 pieces of content a day on just first main channels, then that repeated behavior in people, and then eventually they'll go, I see these people loads, I'm going to click on their channel, and then they find your vlogs, and then they buy into the vlogs and the long form, and then they're starting to get sticky with the brand. And we've now set up a second channel where we're doing that exact same thing with, and we're repurposing the same shorts. So we're not having to film more content, we're repurposing the same content we're already editing with minor tweaks just to help the algorithms of social media. Otherwise they start banning you if you post the same content again and again. And then we're posting 24 pieces of content a day plus the main channel videos. But if you want to grow a social media account, it's not just posting shorts, it's not just creating viral content. You have to have a purpose, a long form story arc. Can't say that fucking word. A long form story arc that people will actually care about and want to buy into, and then you've got to figure out the engines underneath and create a lot of noise, tap into as many algorithmic trends as you can, and then you can really build something. And watch what happens. Watch what happens to our YouTube account in a year's time. Like, we will surpass 10,000 subscribers. We will generate a lot more interest, and we will make better content. Anyway, there's a 2 cents on social media. And now we're at this property. It's going to be a 5-bed HMO, but it's quite small in the square footage, and we've tried to do what we can to get as much bang for our buck out of it, maximise the square footage, up in the spec obviously to the new spec standard. You can see we're going to paint the front and get rid of this awful pebble dash. A nice purple, it would seem. I wasn't even sure this was happening, but it is, and it looks great. Done all the dado rails and everything else inside, levelled out all the floors, and I've done this central kitchen area again. Hello, you all right? Hello, sir. Big old fat door here to fill in the gap where the window used to be. Window panel above, but then we create this central area for the kitchen diner instead. Minimises losing that corridor to then have a small bedroom. Hello, how you doing, mate? Let's have a go at this bedroom. Bit quirky. So again, a tight extension. We managed to knock an ensuite in there, and then the bedroom back here. So it's a bit of a tight space, but actually once the furniture's in here, it should look like it makes sense. We had to keep this nib in as well. It doesn't take up a lot of space, but actually makes it quite annoying with sticking in the workstation. But yeah, I think we made the most of this property because it is very small. You can even see from this the perimeter wall to this side, like this is a tight, narrow property, but bought very, very cheap. I think it's bought for 75 grand, I think this one was, or 73 grand. So we follow this dado feature all the way up. This makes it look even nicer. And we get a little bedroom in here, but it'll work. Little feature wall along there. They'll have an off-suite over there. My love for you. Do. Carry that feature the whole way through here. Little storage cupboard. Another nice room in here, again. With the feature walls. Green, purple and grey features we've got throughout. You can see with our plug sockets, light switches, lights, all just a bit smarter and well thought out. TV for placement there. So this one will share this off-suite here with that little bedroom. But it's enough. It's enough. Gone for all the black accents as well in the bathrooms. Decent. But it's a small property. The thing with this, that's what's interesting, is how much what can we really make out of these smaller properties? Because you buy them a lot cheaper, but you end up with slightly smaller rooms. We are thinking of playing around with the idea at the moment of doing more studio offerings, where we combine some of these rooms. We get, say, turn this from a 5-bed to a 4-bed, so you drop a room, but then get 4 really big rooms, which is something we are playing with at the moment. There's the off-suite there, which works nicely. See the black accents and trims and taps and stuff like that going around the en-suites. We may look at tiling en-suites as well. We basically have decided we want to be the best products on the market. And there's higher levels of competition, so we have to make sure we continuously evolve the product and make sure we stay ahead of the game. But yeah, this one's got quite a central bed. So you notice here, the bed is looking like it's going to be quite central, which can create some dead space either sides for us to then get wardrobes in and stuff like that. So we need to double check what's going on here. Or we have our desk linking over there and nudge the bed over further this side, bedside underneath, but we'll see, we'll see. But that's this one. And now this is about 2 weeks away from completion now. We'll go literally just around the corner to another one and I'll see you there. We are here. Hate Pebble Dash. Just looks so shit, doesn't it? But yeah, this one, 6-bedder, slightly bigger property. You notice how much wider it is. Hello guys, you all right? I'm good, mate. How are you? But yeah, just notice it's a much wider property. See, that little bit wider gives you that little bit more. So even though you pay more for this kind of property, about 30 odd grand more, just under 30 grand more, but you're paying for that extra square footage, which is going to just give you that better space. But it doesn't mean the smaller properties don't work. It just means we have to figure out other ways to tackle them. So rather than going for the most rooms in those projects, we're thinking of tackling smaller properties because we've got some clients with less capital. So now usually clients with about £100,000, we kind of go, well, you really need a minimum of 150 to be able to get into these kind of HMOs with us. Just because you can do it with 100 and leverage up and get your development finance and bridging and stuff like that, but it's something you want to have experience before you do. So it's not the best route for clients who are starting out on their first project. So now if they have 100 grand and buy a smaller project, we're trying to create a product where we know it still works for them and stays, so it's then a smaller capex, so less of a capital outlay throughout the whole project and less rooms, but buying a much lower purchase price and spending less on the construction, so less structural changes, but going for 4 rooms, staying under the council's radar and under the HMO licensing radar. But means we can go for 4 really optimized, nice studio offering rooms, then just with a shared smaller kitchen. And that might be the best way to get the most bang out of the buck for the smaller properties and cater to an investor pool with less capital. So that is something we're looking at the moment. But this is a pretty standard 6-bed, big old extension at the back though. So I used to finish here. We've knocked through and done a big single story, which the council is still fucking us about on. Honestly, planning is just, yeah, it'd be nice this. So we create this nice extra area, so a big kitchen living room now, and then a decent sized bedroom with ensuite at the back. And obviously this is all one big extension. But honestly, the councils and planning and the abuse that you get from these people in the council who just think they've got too much power, and they know they have, and they just screw us about on the most minute details. We're here trying to deliver housing and actually fulfill what the government's plan is to deliver more housing and a more diversified stock and more affordable housing, which is exactly what HMOs are. And then they're just pushing back on the most minute things. They're now messing us about on the back wall, which we had to strip back. I'll show you what we had to do. I'll show you. But yeah, this will be a great space. Yeah. So notice the neighbour's done exactly the same. You know, full extension all the way to the rear. You look down this road, full extension to the rear, full extension to the rear, full extension to the rear. Further down the bottom, you've got double story extension to the rear, more full extensions to the rear. Basically the whole way down, that monstrosity there is double story extension to the rear. And ours, this was Breeze Block, and we were going to render it and make it look super nice. But they said, no, we don't like render. We think it obstructs the street scene. What street scene? What street scene? Look at that. Look at that. There isn't a street scene. So to appease them, we took it down and we built it back up in red brick so that it's in keeping with the street. It's fucking nonsense. Done that, and they've gone, we've changed our mind again. We want you to set the wall back. So they want us to try and set this wall back to here and then bring this wall height down so that there's a step up. So they want us to do that. They won't give us planning. Obviously, we're going to appeal that. That's fucking nonsense. But I think we can negotiate with them and get it sorted. But it's just far too much abusive power these people have in these councils, and they are infuriating to work with. There's no logic, no rhyme or reason. I literally, you know, you try and go to them. Look, you can see this wall here, Mr. Councillor. You see that there? And you see what they've done there? What's your reason for us taking this down? And they literally go, we just don't think it obstructs the street scene. And you go, what street scene? Where's the street scene at? What street scene? This is clearly better looking than the neighbours and everywhere else. And with a render, it would have looked proper plush and nice. And they go, yeah, we don't think so. I'm like, you don't think so, so you cost us thousands of pounds and delay our delivery of much needed housing. And just extrapolate that out to how many cases there are of this. It's just every time we're dealing with planning, it's a fucking nightmare. Like, it's just so infuriating because all it is bureaucrats. Just a bunch of pen pushers in offices thinking their opinions matter, more so than delivering the actual stock. And we're the ones parting ways with a lot of risk, a lot of time, and a lot of capital to deliver it. And they just hold us up for months and months and months on these stupid decisions. I could just always go on forever and complain about the councils and the planning department. It is fucking useless. But it's an abuse of power, stuff like that. That is an abuse of power. They need to fucking calm themselves down, do their job, and help with the delivery of housing, not their nuanced subjective opinions slowing down housing. But anyway, well, we are, and we will get it done. And this project is going to be a beautiful offering. It's going to have a great communal area. Really nice big fat extension in a yard that never gets used, so why not make the most of the space? And then we'll get 2 big old bedrooms down here, 3 good ones upstairs as well. So looking forward to this one. But yeah, this is more of our straightforward offering. This is usually what we're aiming for. 6-bed, either with the rear extension to get the 6th room or the loft conversions to get the 6th room. And these are all good sizes as well. And so close to the train station, which is ideal for tenants. Now, we're gonna go over to a newly finished project, which is about 2 streets that way. And this one's gonna be cool, so let's go have a look at that. We're here at Cliff, I'm not gonna tell you the name. But we are at this property. 6-bed HMO, nicely finished, little features on the front, cleaned everything up. Extension, nice and sorted, looks clean, smart, tidy, love it. The council hate it though, fuck you council. Anyway, this is done. And next week it'll be finished, finitoed. And then we're gonna do a load of marketing stuff here. So the next vlog you watch is probably gonna be mostly to do with this property. We've got all the heating on at the moment. We're just trying to warm up the building. But let's show you around. So, bedroomo uno. This is the new spec 2.0. So we've already done a 1.0 on the new spec. This is now 2.0. Not fully there yet, but it is spagalangin'. So you can see we've got these built-in desks, everything else going on, drawers, all that stuff. Beds, again, I would have preferred a better bed, but the supplier sort of screwed us around a bit on stuff, so we ended up going for this bed, which works. TVs mounted on the wall, all the black accents, feature panel walls behind. It's smart, but it can still be better. There's still more that can be done with this. Let's go through to the next section. Just looks smart though. Looks like a nice place to live and call home, you know. You can see what these sort of compact desks look like. The little mini fridge below, drawers here, still enough of a seating area, the TV above. Kind of I like this worktop as well, it works with the room nicely. Here's the rest of it. There's loads of space in here still. You know, when they've not got furniture in, you kind of think, oh, can everything fit in here? But once it's in, you know, this is loads of space for someone. This is a big room. And we want to be getting rid of wardrobes as well, really, and just building in the wardrobes instead, because you put that wardrobe there, or we could have built in a wardrobe that had been about that big, and floor to ceiling, we can get storage level above, rail, and the shelves below. So you get way more bang for your buck. And the material costs about the same, but obviously it's a little bit more on labour. And then we've sunk an ensuite into here. And again, that's quite a good size ensuite. We nabbed a bit of space from that room. Vertical rads. Different kind of floor as well, rather than the darker black floor. We've gone for this sort of like softer grey, almost with like a blue tinge in it. I think that feels a bit nicer. And then through to the kitchen. And this is where a bit more work's required until it's finitoed. But yeah, create this open plan area. Lounge in there. Kitchen, diner in here. The seats there. Loads and loads of storage. Little island poking out. And then the exposed brickwork behind the seating area. Then we need to finish off these steps down here. And then they have a little yard out the back, a little yard out the front. So we're creating two nice spaces, but the council hate that. They want this to be a tight window up here. They don't like that it's a big window. And they don't want to have a yard area for the tenants, which is just mental. Obviously we're fighting them on this stuff and saying no. Like, why? Because they don't like the look of it. I'm just like, this whole street, there isn't a single, there's no topography of any houses that are the same. They're all different. That's a different house, that's a different house, that's a different house, that's a different house, the neighbour's a different house. There's a load of crappy single story extensions all over the place. At least ours looks banging. But they're just, stressful, man. It's the hardest part of our job because you just get nowhere. You're not speaking to rational, reasonable people. They're just infuriating. They don't like the skylight either. And I know I've mentioned this in other vlogs, but it just baffles me. And I look at this stuff and I go banging. And I think that there's people out there actively trying to stop us from doing this. They want us to make it worse. And when you look at council stock as well, like literally social housing, they deliberately don't want to put in good quality stuff because they don't want to deal with the maintenance with the tenants. So they deliberately create a worse spec and a worse environment for people to live in. That's the council doing that themselves. And then we come along, we create these great environments and they nitpick it apart and say, and put their subjective opinion and tell us what they don't like about it. And I'm just like, how is that a right system? How does that system work? No, it doesn't work, it's broken, hence why we're well under our housing targets. But yeah, bit more to do in here to dress it up, make it look nicer. Quick look upstairs. I love this light well that comes down. Bedroom in here with mini fridge going underneath, TV on the wall, wardrobe snugged in there, and then some extra drawers. And these are a big thing for tenants. Now I'm walking around, I can just see more things that we need to be doing. So we'll change the spec again and keep adding to it. But it's such a cool environment, like just looks nice. It's got everything we need. And this room as well. Yeah, this worked out all right. I was slightly worried about how close this was going to be. This is fine, you still get a chair in there, still work there. Drawers, wardrobe, and a nice big bathroom in here. This is a big bathroom. And it's got nice clear view windows, so when you're naked, everyone can see you. So that's a feature we're going for as well. We want nudist HMOs. Nice. And then we'll check the loft room, which still has a couple little bits left to do. But I like this carpet, it just feels lighter, it's nicer, isn't it? It does feel fresh, doesn't it? And then against the grey panels. And then we have in here, yeah, we're sort of playing around with the space a bit, so that's gonna go against there. And then they have the bed and the bedsides. TV banged on there, which worked out in the end. Ensuite in there, also worked out, even though I had a bit of height restriction on the pitch of the roof. Bing, bang, boogie. And then we're gonna create the desk spaces in here, so that's one of the last main things to do, as well as snagging around the place. And they've got all this depth for storage, like bang a suitcase in there, you get loads in here, like you could really just live up here once we've got the kitchenette bit in. But anyway, that's this property. Next week we're gonna do a lot of content here to promote our services in all different ways. and also get the whole gang down, so the full team to come through, pick it apart and go, what can we be changing, what can we be upgrading about the specification? And I'm already seeing quite a lot of things that we can be updating still. But this product is way beyond what we were doing before, and I know where we can take it next as well. So we'll see what rents we get, see how well the tenants react to it as well. But anyway, that's this vlog. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're an investor and you're interested in a full stack development service, whether it's HMOs or commercial to residential developments, that is what we offer. We are an end-to-end solution. Finding the assets, the construction we do in house flooring teams, and the lettings we do with our own lettings business as well. We also have some training, so we're training people now on how to become developers, because why not? We're doing it ourselves, so why not take our knowledge, package it up, and we can also monetize that from our end, and people can learn from us and then come and use our services as well. So we're trying to create an ecosystem where we can really capture anyone who wants to get into the development space, utilize our services with trusted partners, and learn from us along the way. So yeah, check all that out. It'll be in the video description. Big love, thanks for watching, subscribe, see you in the next one.